I am Lindsay Grasky, your City Council President, and it is my honor to welcome you to the 2024 State of the City Address. Tonight is a special occasion as we celebrate the significance of women in leadership. As the Council President and with our Vice President Ruth Ludwig, we stand here possibly making history as the first all-female leadership team in our city's governance. Lost my speech there, I got it back. Okay. Our dedication and commitment to serving the community exemplify the spirit of empowerment and progress. One of the highlights of this council's success is our growing tourism industry. With a remarkable 53% increase in visitor numbers and a budget exceeding $1 million, tourism plays a vital role in our economic growth and prosperity. This influx of visitors not only brings revenue, but also showcases the beauty and charm of our city to the world. Turning our attention to transformative power of art, public art plays a crucial role in enhancing our economy. It adds vibrance to our streets, cultivates creativity, and fosters a sense of community pride. As we forge a strong relationship between tourism and art, we understand that art is not just decoration, but a reflection of our identity and a catalyst for memorable experiences. This year, we fund artists and create new spaces with our new Superior Public Arts Grant. By investing in art, we are investing in the heart of our city. It enriches our parks, revitalizes our spaces, and creates lasting memories for residents and visitors alike. These experiences, one meeting at a time, contribute to the infrastructure of a vibrant and culturally rich community that Superiorites yearn for. As a council, we recognize the importance of actively engaging in conversations that impact our city's development. The ongoing discussions regarding the Blotnick Bridge bill demand our attention and involvement. It is imperative that we support our workers, nurture our small businesses, and prioritize the safety of our constituents on the roads. Education and awareness are key, and it is our responsibility to inform ourselves and others to make informed decisions that benefit our community. And now it is my privilege to introduce the Mayor of Superior, Jim Paine, as he delivers the 2024 State of the City Address.
Thank you, Councillor. Madam President, Madam Vice President, members of the City Council, people of Superior. How do you talk about our city? When people visit, when you tell someone where you're from, what do you say about Superior? What are the stories that you tell? What are you most proud of? See, I've been asking myself this question for several weeks now because the answer can actually build a pretty great policy agenda. And as I said last year, it's too easy to reduce government to just the basics like taxes, streets, and utilities. We obviously have to meet those obligations, and I think we've built a pretty great reputation here for doing that. But government can do more, much more. If we look at our city with vision and pride, because the City of Superior and the Superior City Council is not just some public corporation, some business providing basic service. Citizens trusted us to take care of their home and to make it better. I think the best way to do that is to really think about what's already great here, what keeps us here, and what makes this place home, and then invest in those things. As we move from tonight into our budget process and the policy year ahead, I want to keep this question in mind. If you entertained a visitor to our city tomorrow, or a year from now, or 10 years from now, what would you show them? What would you brag about? What would they remember? Whatever that story is, let's invest in it and build it together. Now, I promised you a shorter speech this year, and then that promise ran in the newspaper, so I'm going to try and keep this quick. It's been another great year, though, and so I wanted to highlight a few things and try to set a vision for the year to come. That's really the point of this speech and what I try to accomplish year over year. And frankly, the City of Superior made a lot of news in the last year. We created at least 30 new childcare openings by issuing grants to 10 childcare providers. We created a broadband utility to deliver faster, cheaper internet for everyone. We issued grants to nonprofits, namely churches, that usually wouldn't be eligible for government grants. We lowered the city wastewater fee. We introduced paid family leave for city employees. We hired a new grants consultant to pursue a $20 million climate justice grant. We launched the city's first composting program, and we lit up East End at Christmas. Now, you might have already caught the pattern here, at least the city councilors will have, because I'm going to talk to just them for the next few minutes. None of these achievements began with me or the administration. Every single one of them was the initiative of city councilors. The list isn't complete, but even if this were all we did, this would still be the most productive city council I've seen in over 15 years with local government. They did it by working with each other, with me, and with our staff. And even now, many of them are actively pursuing new policies and initiatives that will improve our city and justify the trust that our citizens placed in them. Now, councilors, I know I'm leaving out a lot of your work. Don't feel bad. I'm leaving out nearly all of mine as well. I'm trying to keep the speech short. But we know what we've done together. I think the public knows too. But I want you to see and remember just how effective we can be when we work together to make our city a better place. What it looks like when we take each other seriously, even if someone's idea is novel or seems impossible, or even if it seems a little bit irresponsible. I think we owe it to each other to just listen and ask ourselves, what if? What if my colleague is right? What if we tried something new? What if we just took a few risks? Councilors, the city has 11 elected leaders, not one. When we trust each other, when we follow each other's lead, we accomplish more than any one of us would have ever been able to achieve alone. We've had a great year because you've worked harder than ever before and your work is paying off. You have my gratitude for your ideas and your vision, but more importantly, you have my support. My commitment to you then in the year ahead is to say yes as often as I possibly can. Bring me more ideas. Bring me lofty goals. Bring me the nearly impossible. I'm committing to you now that my staff will do everything we can to help you achieve your goals for the city. And that promise is not limited to the city council. There are department heads here. There are citizens here. There are county board members here. If you have an idea for our community, bring it to this administration and we are going to work on it. This community works better when we all work to do the work that we could not do alone. And you've already brought me several ideas. But for the year ahead, I do have a few of my own. We created the Connect Superior broadband utility, so now it's time to actually hook people up. The RFP for construction of Phase 1 is out right now, and we hope to beta test the network by connecting the first batch of customers this year and fully launch the network by spring of 2025. By that point, I hope to also tell you how we'll fund and develop Phase 2 and beyond so that every single citizen and business in Superior has access to a fast, reliable, and affordable connection. We've nearly completed the public input stage for our skate park rebuild. We plan to release the preliminary design this summer and the final design this fall, but I'm telling you, I have now met with skaters of all ages and heard their input, and I can tell you, I can promise you that this is going to be the best municipal skate park in the upper Midwest. I wish I had a design to show you. It's going to be great. Councillor Grasky and the Commission on Public Art is going to finally launch our new public art grants, giving citizen artists the chance to beautify their own city. We are going to open Woodstock Bay Park, an all-new waterfront experience in the city's West End, and a major step toward my goal to integrate water into every single neighborhood in Superior. We will literally grow the entire city by adding new green infrastructure elements to every park and public works project, protecting our lake and rivers, and adding beauty and life to every single neighborhood. This is the one I'd like you to applaud. We are going to propose and hopefully pass strong new laws against vaping and vape shops in our city. These products and their dealers have caused an epidemic in our schools, threatening the health and lives of children. Folks, this stuff is poisoning kids. And I hope, counselors, I hope you'll all stand with me and pass the toughest rules in our state. We are also going to protect our whole city, especially kids, from the dangers of lead water lines. This year, we will begin the process of replacing every single lead pipe in the city. We are going to rewrite our entire zoning code, legalizing diversity and growth while protecting the character of our neighborhoods and built heritage. We are going to design new fire halls for East End and North End neighborhoods. They'll be the most efficient, modern, and adaptable fire halls in the state and hopefully make their neighborhoods a little bit nicer. And last year, I declared Superior a Halloween city, and quite frankly, the people loved it. So this year, I'm proposing, actually, you know what? I'm going to keep that one a secret. We'll see you in October. I asked you to save the princess, and you did. We have a lot of work ahead of us before we begin bringing working theater back to downtown. But as a reward and a thank you for the chance you took on the arts, we're going to throw a bit of a party at the site of the theater this summer and now fill our downtown with art and music. But we won't forget the basics either. We can still do the boring stuff. We can keep taxes and fees low. We can invest more in our streets and sidewalks. We can finish our property revaluation. We can improve our utilities. We can keep our parks and trails and beaches and our lake clean. We don't have to sacrifice anything just because we choose to invest in innovation. Folks, cities can do more than one thing. The cities that challenge themselves to do many things for many people are the cities that grow and thrive. And this list is not complete. Every one of you here can name something that I've either left off this list or that you'd like to add. That's okay, because we've got a lot of time and resources to accomplish a lot. We can accomplish a lot, but only by working together. If every single city councilor this year would commit to getting a single project before next year's State of the City, a single project or policy or initiative, we can make that speech even easier to write than this one was. Now, every year, I've used this speech to show us what we accomplished in the year before and set some goals for the year ahead. But the point of the event, that I admit I sometimes miss, is to take stock of where we are now, not where we've been, not where we're going. How are we now? What is the state of our city today? Now, obviously, you know what I'm going to say. The same thing that I always say. The state of our city is strong. It's stronger than it's ever been. But I have to admit, I'm something of a biased source. I love this city. And if you love it as much as I do, you're probably as biased as I am. But I think we are all proud of where we live. At least I hope so. But I'm pleased to tell you that the rest of the world is starting to take notice too. Folks, there's a reason the president has been here twice, including the day after his State of the Union. There's a reason the governor has been here 20 times and named us in his State of the State address. In my first State of the City address, I called us a city on the rise. Since then, our population has grown, countless businesses have opened, housing has expanded, tourism has flourished, and just a month ago, Standard & Poor's upgraded our economic outlook from weak to strong. So, the fact is, we always knew that this was a great city. Tonight, I'm proud to tell you, everybody else knows it too. Great cities have great stories to tell. Great stories are built around great characters. That's why I've closed each State of the City speech with a Citizen of the Year. I've never had strict criteria, and I don't accept nominations, but I know them when I see them. I'm typically looking for someone that's more than a volunteer or a public servant. I look for someone whose whole life and work have made our city better or helped define who we are. I'm trying to find the legends among us. Now, considering past awards have gone to Barb Serta and Butch Liebert, I'd say I've done a pretty good job so far. Legends, though, are just describe ourselves 2 hours. We want people or Major Bong or Lou Martin or Peter Rich, and so that we can say that's who Superior is. That's the kind of people that we are. And that's the kind of person I'm looking for when I choose a citizen of the year. Now, I've often made this a surprise for the recipient. It is not tonight, just a surprise for you. Our next Citizen of the Year is not just our finest citizen today, but one of our greatest ever. She is a teacher, a musician, a historian, an artist, and a storyteller. She attracts visitors and admirers from around the world. She already does have a building named after her, and many of you may not have even met her. So it is therefore my great pleasure to introduce you to our 2024 Citizen of the Year, the legendary Dr. Helmy Harrington. Dr. Harrington. Dr. Harrington is the founder and curator of the Harrington Arts Center on Hammond Avenue and Belknap Street, which at any given time may be the world's largest collection of accordion family instruments. I always describe it that way, of course. From the heart of Superior, she runs a global institution that not only collects and repairs these instruments, but also houses an incomparable library of art and music. Her World of Accordions Museum attracts performers and fans from all over the world. She herself continues to teach and perform while constantly, indefatigably working to improve her museum and protect it for future generations. Thanks to her, Superior, Wisconsin is nationally and globally recognized as a center of art, music, learning, and timeless beauty. She is quite possibly our greatest storyteller, and now counts, I assure you, among the least of her honors, the title Citizen of the Year. Dr. Harrington, it is my honor to present you with this year's key to the city as our Citizen of the Year. Please take it.
Thank you so much. I have to apologize for the fact that I'm pretty slow and clumsy these days. I was in Germany receiving an honor when I fell on cobblestone and gave myself a concussion. Now I have a couple of months yet to go before I hope that goes away. But in between time, work doesn't stop, nor does the accomplishment of our situation. So the first thing that I want to do is introduce the people who are not just me, but who are around to make these things happen for all of us. And this is our board of directors. Kevin Frederick, he's our first vice president. He's in New Zealand with his own museum, and he comes regularly to New York and to Minnesota and Wisconsin. Mary Ann Cavone, who is president of Accordionists and Teachers Guild, and she serves with us in the museum as well. She's from Illinois. Joanna Darrow, whose husband really inspired the beginning of the museum and all, and she's from New Jersey. Dr. Mike Middleton, Willard Palmer, and my son and daughter, Charlie Harrington and Honey Harrington-Rencher, are Texans. Minnesotans are Linda Knudsen, Shelby Setniker, Rob Digman. And we have so many friends who are nice donors and important people, including George Corletto from Washington, D.C., Joanne Cochran Summers, and Carolyn Carter, Roger Schultz, Sue Spencer and friends, and Dee Langley. And special thanks go to our frequent helpers, Robin Ford, Linda Knudsen, Colonel Chris Kopeck and his wife, Paul Anderson and Mary Carlson, and her Don, and Nina Ford. So thank you to all. because if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be what we are or continue as we can. So thank you. This year, we completed a project that we have been hoping to do for some period of time, and that was to document the museum in a video, and that's what we have here. And I am here to present it to Mayor Paine, who, by the way, I really love. He speaks well, he's honest, he says what he means, and he does what he says. And so this is a first edition of our new museum. However, it's not the end. This will have a secondary follow-up, just like our museum will have a secondary follow-up. We have basically the acoustic recordings from their inception in the 1800s to the current time state of the art. But we want to have a second museum that so thoroughly covers the electronic and the virtual instruments of today and tomorrow. So, with gratitude and with great extent, I'm not good on this today. I say to Mayor Paine, thank you for you, because if it weren't for you and other wonderful people here, there would not only be no recognition, there would be no reason for recognition. Thank you. At the end of this meeting, if you would like to please come over to the museum. In our foyer, we will have some refreshments and can chat some more about whatever our stories are. We've got lots of stories. Now, thank you again. Look at that.
So, folks, I always ask our Citizens of the Year to make a few remarks. They've never been delivered quite so well, but as long as Dr. Harrington is here, does anybody have an accordion? It just so happens. I simply could not let the moment pass. So, if you'll indulge us.
Wonderful music, but it's very simplistic folk music as a rule. You have to come again and I'll play something fancy called free bass, and that means the left hand functions just like it does on a piano or on an organ. But this has the advantage of being very friendly to every learner and quick to the learners, because its harmonies support whatever melody you're playing, and the melodies are easily heard and found. Left hand has cycle of fifths harmonies. That's exactly what our tonal system requires. There's no world where I'm following that. Have a great night, everybody. Feel free to join the accordion.